Hello everyone. So as I told you, I'm here with Matt. This is Matt.
Hi, how are you guys?
Great.
They can't respond.
It's okay.
The camera.
It's YouTube. It's YouTube. So Matt, if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself to my people and just like tell us what you're about and like who you are.
Okay. My name is Matt Shepard. I have a YouTube channel called Meet Matt Shep. I do advocacy for men with eating disorders, as well as just kind of share my own story around mental health and my own recovery, as well as some other things that I've been through in my life.
That's cool. Okay, yeah, and we met first day of VidCon at the mental health panel, and then we were both in the creator chat with Katie Morton yesterday, which I found so inspiring. And we are both actually headed to some more events today, but he's local as well, so we're definitely gonna get together and do some more videos.
Yes.
But as someone, I'm like 5 years into my own recovery from eating disorders. But you said you're like 10 years into recovery,
yeah.
So I feel like you guys would maybe benefit, like if there's one thing you could tell yourself at the beginning of that eating disorder recovery, at the beginning of your journey, like what is that piece of advice?
So I've been in recovery for 10 years from compulsive overeating as well as morbid obesity. My top weight was 340 pounds.
Okay.
So when I was new into recovery, I felt crazy. I felt like I was absolutely insane. And the truth was I was insane, and the way I treated people, and I didn't have a relationship with food because I had a relationship with food.
Right.
I mean, it was a romantic relationship, but I didn't have any real relationships with people.
Right.
So the minute I take away my drug of choice, like I look at myself no different than an alcoholic or a drug addict.
Yes.
And I had to be willing to kind of be an acceptance that like I'm an addict with food.
Yeah.
And so if you take away my drug of choice, I'm gonna be just as crazy and go through withdrawal just like anybody else.
Yes.
And so for me, part of my recovery journey was allowing myself to be crazy, because if I think I have to be they say you can't save your face and the ass at the same time.
I like that.
You can't save your face and your ass at the same time.
There we go.
So I had to be really willing to be humble and know that I was gonna screw up a lot, and that I was for the first time having feelings that I didn't know how to deal with, I didn't know how to cope with, and be okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I think it is sometimes one, for me, it's been hard for me to accept the identity of addiction because I grew up around addicts. I grew up in a house of addicts, and so that was really hard for me, but also it's so stigmatized to say food is an addiction. People are like, no, it's just food. Like just don't overeat. It's like people don't get it. And so I think that's something that's been really important to me, is destigmatizing. Like food addiction is a thing. Like it's like for me, I mean, you guys know, but my eating disorder was compulsive overeating, binge eating, as well as bulimia. And even like I've had people say you can't be fat and be a bulimic, like that's not a thing. And so for me, I think it's super important to just destigmatize that, and that's why I think I'm so glad that we met each other, because we have a lot of similar views and somewhat similar stories. It's nice to get a perspective that I don't necessarily understand as far as the male perspective of eating disorders, because I feel like it's not talked about.
The funny thing is it's not any different.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same. The only difference is men aren't encouraged to talk about their feelings. So I actually think around eating disorders, it's harder for men to find recovery because they're not being encouraged to then explore their feelings and their emotions.
Yeah.
And even within the eating disorder recovery community, there's a real fear of bringing men into the conversation, because when you look at the issues around body image and body positivity, some of that stem from men, what's perceived as men putting unrealistic expectations on women.
Yes.
And so then you have men who are suffering with body image and eating disorders, but they're not being encouraged to join in in the community.
Right.
And like also like all these other accessory behavior, I had to also boil it down to like I was a compulsive overeater, and like I would binge and binge and binge, and then I went through periods of exercise bulimia, and I went through periods of restricting, and it for me I had to, the more I could boil it down to, those were all accessory behaviors and all the ways that I was trying to control my food.
Right.
And I think letting go of the stigma of like what everyone else thinks about, it's like once you know how much pain you're in, people are like, thank God I got into recovery young, because I was like 21.
Okay.
I was like, no, it's not that thank God I got it young, it's I was in so much pain, like you don't understand, like I needed help.
Yeah, it was either change or, like, one of my favorite quotes is, and I think that exemplifies my own journey and my own eating disorder and my own change that kind of made me, because I was at like 350 plus, my highest weight, so pretty similar too, was change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And like for me, the change was so scary, but it was like, it was either that or like pretty much just eat myself into a grave. Like just like so many people in my family did.
And also like all the billboards and all the diets, they all tell you how to lose the weight, but none of them tell you how to maintain it. And culturally and in society, we're encouraged to have this like deep level of self-will in order to like accomplish things and to get things done. And like it's that idea that self-will is what's necessary that I think it kills so many of us. And I think it's also important in recovery to realize that like your journey really is your own, and that even your experience around, even part of, for me, finding recovery from my eating disorder was realizing that, oh my God, like I don't have to be 340 pounds the rest of my life. And no one wants to talk about that either. That my weight, like people want to put, oh well, weight loss is a byproduct of your recovery, and it is. But it's also something that for me, I have to allow it to be in the forefront of my conversation, because the emotional effects and the psychological effects of losing that weight and seeing my body being different, for me, it's all connected. It's not separate. And it doesn't have to be separate. And it doesn't mean that you're less focused on your recovery or you're less authentic because your experience with weight loss is a significant experience for you.
I mean, my weight loss has been, I mean, I'm still in the middle of my journey. I still have like 60 pounds to go. For me, that's something that's been a huge topic on my channel. I just did a video about it, is like the way my body is changing and how I'm coping with it. Like, because it is a weird thing, and it is like my weight loss is at the pinnacle of my recovery, because not about the number, it's about the health. But with health comes weight loss. I think he has a lot of perspective, a lot of insight that I don't necessarily have, and I think, like I've learned here at VidCon, listening is an important thing. Like you get so much from just listening to other people, and I hope you guys have learned a little bit from, or a lot from Matt today, and you'll certainly learn more. I will leave his links down below. Do you have anything like you want to say? Like, what?
I want to say how inspiring she is, because I think that you're figuring it out in front of your audience, and I think that that is, it's really encouraging. And it also, you know what, one thing I have to realize with the work I do online and with my content, it's that I have to take what I'm learning here and then practice it in the real world. You know? And like I let this be the place where I can be vulnerable, because no one has to say anything back to me but in the comments. And then like it's a way for me to practice doing it in my real life, and like you're putting yourself in such a beautiful place in your life.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I mean, you guys know, I mean, my channel means like so much to me, and I love the fact that I can look back on, like, because I can look back at my videos. I have videos of when I was at like 300 plus pounds on my channel, and it's really cool, and I think it's really helpful, and that's the feedback I've gotten from a lot of people, is they like going back and seeing my stuff and seeing where I am now, because it kind of, it's like, it shows them like I'm a normal person. I'm a 23-year-old, I'm in college, I'm in work, like I know, like I'm just a normal person, and anyone can do it. I think that's so important. So I'm gonna leave all of Matt's links down below, his Instagram, his YouTube.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Matt Shep, and subscribe to my channel and like the video.
Check him out, he has some awesome content. I was definitely binge watching it last night. Not in an unhealthy binge way. Just gonna put that out there.
It's YouTube, it's all healthy.
It's YouTube,
You can't help but do it.
But go check him out. I'm sure we'll be getting together and doing some more stuff, working together, because he has some awesome insight. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any input as far as what you want to see us film, I think that'd be really interesting, either for my channel or even for his channel. Leave them down below, DM me. You guys know how to get in contact with me. And as I always say, the only way to predict your future is to go out there and create it for yourself. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.